What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of my MLB 16 The Show franchise. Now, before we get started, I do plan on restarting this save file when the OSFM rosters are released. However, I wanted to start this franchise just to get a few gameplays out while the game was in its early stages and not get too far into the save file or anything. I just want to kind of throw it in as a normal series so I can get used to uploading it again because it has been quite a while. And then when the OSFM rosters come out, I'll be restarting the save file and simming up to that point and hoping we're in the relatively same spot. But as you can see, we are going to be using the Toronto Blue Jays, my favorite team. I've been in a cycle of using my favorite teams this year, although that kind of got interrupted with the Redskins franchise and various other things that were uploaded in that time frame. But the thing about the Blue Jays is they are kind of cash strapped for the next few years with a lot of aging veterans, and they are a win-now team, but I would like this series to go a lot longer than the Arizona Diamondbacks or Cleveland Indians series did. I want to go through shorter seasons and kind of probably upload through a whole year's cycle instead of what I did before, and usher in the next group like the Kevin Pillar and Marcus Stroman. I couldn't think of his name for a second, and Devin Travis, and all those younger guys, Roberto Ozuna as well. As you can take a look at our roster, going into the MLB season, this is going to be our final roster, and I'll explain why certain players are on the roster and why certain players aren't when we hit the lineup screen in a couple seconds here. But that's the whole point. The whole idea behind me doing Blue Jays this year when I did is because they have a chance to be a World Series contender for the next 2 to 3 years, depending on the whole situation with Encarnacion and Batista, which is another reason that I wanted to do it, because there's no guarantee that either or both of them will be back next season, which is kind of adds to the uncertainty of using this team. So hopefully we can sort through all of that throughout this franchise. But here's our pitching rotation. Marcus Stroman leading us off. Estrada Sanchez, as he was the third best rated pitcher on our roster. Ari Dickey and J.A. Happ. We put Gavin Floyd and Jesse Chavez in the bullpen because they were better than our middle relief options. On this roster, they're rated kind of awful. So I just put Lupin Delabar in middle relief. And Storen wasn't mad about not being the closer, so I put him there, and I put Brett Cecil in setup as well, and then Roberto Osuna closing because it raised his overall when we made him the closer. So now let's take a look at the lineups, and you're going to see why certain players are on the roster on this screen. So we have a little of a strange platoon situation going on. Now I'd like to hit Donaldson second, minor note right here. I'd like to hit Donaldson second, but it would put his overall down because he would go from being like satisfied like he is right now, so his overall is normal, to down. Because if you put someone not in the 1, 3, or 4 spot when they're expected to be a star player, they're just an everyday player, and that affects morale somehow, which is kind of stupid considering that Donaldson bats second all of last year for the Blue Jays and never, I don't think, complained once. So it was kind of strange to me. So we got kind of a platoon situation going on here. So it's not a direct platoon. It involves the position that's not Chris Colabello in both lineups. So the only difference between the left-handed and right-handed lineups is Colabello plays first base in the left-handed lineup, and Junior Lake plays left field because he has good hitting ratings against left-handed pitchers as he is a right-handed batter. And against right-handers, we play Justin Smoke at first base because he has a good power rating against right-handed pitchers, and we play Colabello in left field. So it's not a direct platoon. It involves Colabello moving different positions. With his right-handed, this lineup is that's really mostly the reason why that is the way it is. But this is not just going to be an introduction video. I think I've covered everything I wanted to up to this point. If I think of anything else, I'll throw it in a future episode. But we are going to get a little bit of gameplay footage in this episode. We're going to play opening day against the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, it's not going to be very long. The game was low scoring. It was a battle of pitching. As you can see right there, Chris Archer and Marcus Stroman, two of the best young arms in the game right now. And it wasn't really a game that I wanted to play, but it was opening day. I wanted to save the home opener for the first true gameplay episode of this series. But let's get things started. And with Encarnacion, first at bat of the year, he is going to go yard off Chris Archer here in the top of the second inning. Very good start to the season for Encarnacion. You can never, start the season bad when you're hitting a home run, unless you are the pitcher, of course. Now Marcus Stroman is pitching 1-2 count for Steve Pearce, a new addition to the Tampa Bay Rays, and he is going to go yard, giving the Rays some offense. They really need that. They usually don't have a good amount of that, and that is why they are usually a middling team, but Steve Pearce is providing some of that here early on for this team, And now the Rays are going to, Josh Donaldson's going to have an opportunity here to do something, but he strikes out. He had 3 of those on the afternoon. Not a great day at the plate for the reigning American League MVP. But now Kevin Kiermaier bat, he was raising hell all day. Draws a walk right there. He had 2 hits earlier on in the game, both singles, and he was just wreaking havoc on the base paths. And now Logan Forsythe up to bat, and he is going to gap that one. Kind of in no man's land between Colabello and Kevin Pillar. And Pillar does have a great arm, but not quite enough to get to the relay man in time, and that is not going to get the runner at home. 2-1 lead for the Rays. Big opportunity spot right here for Justin Smoak, who had a miserable day, and the catcher with the super athletic play right there, I believe it was Hank Conger. He's going to throw out one, and it would initiate a double play. Tulo on the last at-bat of the game had a big opportunity to drive in 2, but he would not be able to capitalize. Pops up, and that would end the game 2-1. Rays stun the division favorite, I would say, Toronto Blue Jays in the first game of the season, but there are 161 more to go. I don't think this is really going to get to the Blue Jays that much, and the Rays can have a little bit of a moral victory in some regards. So that'll do it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy, and check the stats on your way out. The new condensed stat screen is a lot better to look at, in my opinion, than the one from last year. See you later.